In today's video, we're going to talk about 4 things you can add to your paintings today that is going to increase the depth into your paintings. First up is going to be your size proportions of what you put into your landscape. So in these 2 images I have on my desk, if we're looking at these hay bales, we've got them nice and big, and as they get further back, they almost become little tiny specks. You can't even really tell that they're a hay bale as they get further back, but it's gonna add to giving your painting depth by having something in the foreground and keeping that same object and letting it get smaller as it gets further away. So first up is going to be your proportions. And I also like to say like your size relationships. Number 2 is going to be adding warmer colors in the foreground and cooler colors as you get further away. And I'm going to show you warmer in the foreground, cooler. And so when we say cooler, really having a lot more blues into those colors in the background and taking away the yellows. We don't want any warmth as it gets further away. So if we look at this painting, again, we also have the first one, which was our proportions. In the foreground, we have a tree where we're not even seeing the top of it. And then as we get a little further back, we're starting to see the top. And then as we get way back here, if we even grab a ruler, look at how tiny these trees are in the distance. They're not even a ½ an inch. They're almost like a quarter of an inch. And so that's really adding to the depth already in this painting. But now if we look at the warmth in the foreground trees, which is this one and then this one, I did a little bit of warmth as well. I've got those yellows in there. But then as we get further to these trees in the distance, they are like a bluish gray. There's almost no yellows in them anymore. And we've taken away that warmth because of atmospheric perspective, and that's for a whole other video, but really all I want you to know about atmospheric perspective is as stuff gets further away, the value is gonna get lighter and the colors are gonna get bluer and grayer as you go in the distance. And we're gonna talk about value. I just alluded to our third one, which is in the foreground, your value is going to be darker. So value in the foreground, darker, and then in the background, our value is going to be lighter. Now again, with this, you can see our darkest values are within this tree that is like closest to us, and then a little bit in this tree as well. But as we get back, those values are not nearly as dark as what they are in the foreground. Even look at this little study as well. Again, we've got our warmth in the foreground, we've got our darks in the foreground, and as stuff gets further back, it's gonna get bluer, it's gonna get lighter in value as stuff gets further away. And so that's gonna really help create distance just by kind of being aware of that as you're painting your landscapes. And then last up is going to be the amount of detail that you put in the foreground. So again, we've got foreground. You're gonna want a lot of detail because it's close up to us. And as you get towards the background, you're gonna want very little detail. So we'll just say little to no detail. Because if you think about stepping outside and looking, I have my window off to my side. So usually when I talk about outside, I just naturally look to the left. But when you're outside and you're looking at a tree that's within a few feet of you, you can see the twigs, the branches, the individual, all those little tiny, tiny details because you're close to it. But if you look at that exact same tree and it's like a football field, maybe a couple football fields away from you, it gets so blurred because our eyes aren't that good. And so by the time it gets that far away from us, it just becomes this like blobbish of a tree. It's blurry. I can't see those individual tiny twigs. So same with this tree in the foreground, I have little tiny twigs coming off of it. I have the pine cones on here. I'm giving the viewer detail to help trick the eye, because that's really what these 4 things are doing. We're trying to trick the eye because all we have is a 2-dimensional surface, and we're trying to act like this 2-dimensional surface has all of this depth in it and distance, and that you're seeing into this landscape and it's feeling expansive in this painting. And so the way we do that is with all these little tricks. And so by implementing a lot of detail in the foreground, your viewer is going to feel that it's closer to them, because that's how they see it in real life when they're looking outside. They're realizing, oh yeah, there's a lot of detail, so that is closer up to me, versus as we get further away, these are little blobs of trees. Like they're so easy to paint because you don't have to do any detail to them. You can do them pretty quick, and there's not much to them. You don't spend a lot of time on them. So as you're doing your painting, remember, in the foreground, you can see little like grass marks, you can see twigs, you can see branches. Here's another example of, you know, as you're in the foreground, you want all of those nice individual little elements that you're using your, you know, size 4, size 2, and getting detailed in there. You can do that in the foreground. Just be careful to not do that in the background, because if you start putting detail in the background, you're gonna confuse the viewer's eye in not a good way, because all of a sudden, instead of it looking like you have a tree up here and a tree back here, they're gonna look like they're at the same, even though they're not, and you don't want them to be. So it's something to be aware of as you're painting, is to make sure you've got that detail in the foreground, very little detail as you get into the background. So real quick, we'll do just like a fun study of just implementing these things, because that's what I want you to do after you watch this. Is maybe don't go do like a full-blown painting, just do like a quick study and pick something that you can play with the size proportions, play with your warm and your cool colors, play with your value, and play with your detail. And so if we have our border right here, a lot of these are showing trees. The one I had a hay bale. Let's just do with bushes. So if we kind of have, you know, some bushes up at the foreground, and then as we get further back, so I'm kind of giving myself some just little lines going across. I'm gonna kind of put like maybe a mountain back in there. Again, not too much detail, but as these bushes get further back, I'm gonna play with the size relationship. So they're gonna get a little bit smaller. Very tiny back in here. They're pretty much dots as I get to the back, right? Little tiny, tiny, tiny dots. Okay, so we're playing with the size relationships as we put down those really quick, and then let's grab like a pretty big brush just so I can paint this kind of quick. I'm gonna grab my Escoda size 14 and kind of then move into the next one, which is foreground should be a lot warmer with your values. So when I mix up my green, I'm automatically going to make sure I'm adding in some yellow into my green to make sure it's really, really nice and warm. And so right now, all I'm gonna do is just kind of paint this in. And again, don't get too concerned with these little studies. Just start to implement these in a study formation, so that then when you do a more finalized painting, you're kind of used to adding this stuff in there. Okay, so we've got some warmth in our foreground. Now I'm gonna let that dry, so I'll just put in a sky real quick. Okay, we've got a sky in there, and I'm kind of just going to dry this real fast so that then we can put in the kind of that middle ground and background, and you can see how I'm gonna change the coloring on it. So as I get into this background, foreground, the background with the, kind of bushes back in there, I'm gonna make sure to add have some ultramarine blue. And so I'm gonna add some ultramarine blue. And I can grab that green mixture that I had, but instead of that blue, that's really gonna tone that down. And then also to kind of take down the value a little bit, or not the value, take down the saturation even a little bit more, I'm adding just a little bit of red into that. And so now you can see we've got a very toned down green. And so I'm gonna use that for these kind of bushes in the background. And again, they're just almost like little tiny dots back there. Now as I get a little bit closer up, maybe I'll add a little more warmth into it. Not a lot though, just a smidge. Maybe add a little bit more now as we get closer up to these ones. Maybe add a little more because we are closer than what we were. And then I'm gonna grab just some color for back in here. Again, keeping it kind of toned down. So I kind of have like a greenish mixture, but it's kind of leaning towards more of like brownish in there too, because I've got some red. And again, I'm gonna go kind of lighter in value too. Kind of put that back in there. I'm gonna even rinse some of that off my brush just to get even lighter. Maybe add a little more warmth into it, a little more greens as we get a little bit closer up. A little more warmth. And then I'm gonna paint this mountain in the back real quick. Again, making sure to stay lighter in value, so kind of adding a little more water into that mixture. Now what I'm gonna do is dry this and show you how we're gonna add a little more detail into the foreground and get a little bit darker, because those are the things that's gonna make the foreground really kind of stand out. So now I can come back in and start adding some nice darks into the foreground. And you can keep those warms in the foreground again, because we don't have the atmosphere kind of making everything bluer. So I'm gonna get kind of nice and dark with those shadows. Again, you can, add some grass in the foreground because that's closer up to you. And then I am going to even add just a little bit more warmth into the other side of my bushes. So right now our eye's really coming up to the foreground because we've got so much detail in there. And so that looks really, really good. And I'm pretty much almost gonna be done with the foreground. Just go slightly darker in there. And then what I'm gonna do is, now that this is dry, I'm just going to kind of go back and add back in these bushes back in here just because they kind of got a little bit blurred out when I added in that foreground, or when I added in the ground plane color. And again, I'm gonna have a little bit of a shadow back on these ones because these are still somewhat kind of close up to us. But then as they get kind of further back, I'm not really going to put much of a shadow on these. I'm just kind of blobbing these back in because they kind of got a little lost back in here. Get lighter in value and kind of bluer. Again, as they get so far back, they're just a dot, just dotting that in. Nothing more than a little tiny dot. In the foreground, I love kind of just pulling out little pieces here and there, like little tiny marks. So I think it's fun. I think your eye kind of gravitates towards those. And you can do that kind of stuff in the foreground because again, that's okay. You want your eye to be in the foreground. And so it's a fun spot to kind of do that with. Might add just a little more warmth into these guys. And then maybe that mountain in the very background, just a touch more of some of a dark value. Okay, that's a really quick study, just kind of implementing those things and having fun with it. That's the whole point of all this always too, is doing these studies and starting to kind of implement these things so that then the next time you do a painting, you'll kind of be more aware and more conscious of these things that you can throw in. Because even if you only throw in one of these into your next painting, it's gonna add a lot more depth. And if you throw in all four, it's gonna add a ton more depth. So play around, have fun with these, like, subscribe, do all those things. I appreciate the views, the likes, the comments, everything. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys in the next video.